Cowboys 18 meters. Tom Fox, staff photographer Dallas Cowboys quarterbacks coach Kellen Moore is pictured on the sideline in overtime against the Philadelphia Eagles. Edit. Tom Fox, The Dallas Morning News, by Jon Machota, staff writer at Jon Machota Orlando. The Cowboys coaching staff has structured this week's NFC Pro Bowl practices similarly to how the team prepares during the season. The biggest difference is that instead of Scott Linehan holding the play sheet in the offensive huddle, it's now Kellen Moore. Moore, the Cowboys' first-year quarterback coach last season, appears to be the front-runner to take over as offensive coordinator, a week after Dallas parted ways with Linehan. The possibility of elevating Moore is puzzling to some. He went undrafted in 2012 after going 50-3 as a starting quarterback at Boise State. Then, he played in only 3 games during a 6-year NFL career that started with the Lions and ended with the Cowboys. Since Moore wasn't a successful NFL quarterback, some question his ability to run an NFL offense. Dak Prescott doesn't have any doubts. The Cowboys quarterback, who is making his second Pro Bowl appearance in his first 3 seasons, is one of Moore's biggest supporters. Prescott raved about Moore's help behind the scenes as a backup QB after Prescott became the starter in 2016, telling reporters at the time that Moore was a genius and an offensive coordinator in his own mind. Their chemistry continued to grow last season as Moore worked closely with Prescott during the week and then on the sidelines on game days as Linehan moved up to the coaching booth to call plays. He's a guy that people always said he can't do this or can't do that, but he's the winningest quarterback in college football history, Prescott said after Thursday's practice at the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex. You can say it's college, but he's made a career for himself in the NFL for a long time because of how he knows the game, how quick he is at processing the information, seeing defenses, learning and knowing what is happening offensively and defensively. Cowboys and House OC search only shines brighter light on one of the biggest indictments of Jason Garrett's tenure. He's just got the mind for it. Moore, who is maybe 6 foot, never had a big arm. His physical skills and athleticism didn't blow anyone away. His knowledge of the game was always one of his most impressive traits. Before the 2012 NFL Draft, Moore was one of Jon Gruden's guests on ESPN's annual Gruden's QB Camp TV show. While going over some film of his time at Boise State, Moore shared some of the Broncos' offensive philosophy. Looking back on Moore's response, it represented some of what the Cowboys' offense was lacking in 2018. Our whole goal from an outside perspective is to make it look as confusing as possible, Moore told Gruden. At the end of the day, it's pretty simple for us. It's a lot of the same concepts. It's a lot of ways of doing the same things. At the end of the segment, Gruden, now the head coach of the Raiders, said he envisioned a great future in football for Moore. If football doesn't work out behind the center, he's going to be one heck of a football coach, Gruden added. I wouldn't want to play against his team. Moore's coaching influences begin with his father, Tom, a high school football coach who began studying film and schemes with his son at a young age. Moore eventually ended up playing for his father at Prosser High School in Prosser, Washington. Next was former Boise State coach Chris Petersen, who is now the head coach at Washington. Petersen continues to be one of the most respected offensive minds in the college game. Moore's biggest pro influence has been Linehan, who was Moore's offensive coordinator for 2 years in Detroit and 3 years in Dallas. Naturally, your dad is a high school coach, you always kind of think you're heading that way, Moore said this week about his future in coaching. I think college is really where it kind of confirmed it. Fortunately for me, I had a guy named Chris Petersen, who was our head coach, and a lot of guys on that staff that kind of confirmed it for me. They were awesome people that confirmed to me this was the direction I wanted to head. Moore will turn 30 in July. That may seem young for an NFL offensive coordinator, but it shouldn't with the way the league has been trending. Rams head coach Sean McVay turned 33 on Thursday. He became Washington's offensive coordinator a week before his 27th birthday. San Francisco head coach Kyle Shanahan became Houston's offensive coordinator at 29. Josh McDaniels began calling offensive plays in New England at 29. "I've been around football a little while," Moore said. "We were around high school ball, and then playing in college and the NFL for a little while. All of those different stops, you take bits and pieces from every stop and you learn from them. That kind of evolves and it creates who you are. Obviously I love it down here. It's a good group. We're heading in the right direction. We'll keep building on it." Twitter, @Jon Machota.